Every little comment and every small setback can easily prick your skin. If you let it, you are surrendering your power. The reality is that the most resilient individuals do not experience fewer problems. They simply know how to manage their reactions. Imagine navigating life unfazed, free from overthinking and emotional outbursts, possessing complete control over your responses. In this video, I will guide you on how to train your mind to act as if nothing disturbs you, freeing yourself from feeling trapped by your emotions, and instead, empowering you to own them. Once you master this skill, nothing and no one will ever gain control over you again. 1. Mastering the mindset of indifference. Life is filled with distractions, from the opinions of others and daily frustrations to unexpected setbacks. The world continually presents challenges, criticisms, and obstacles that can easily divert your attention. But what if I told you that true strength lies in mastering the art of indifference? Imagine weathering a storm without flinching or losing your composure. This is the essence of acting as if nothing bothers you. The fundamental lesson is to detach your emotions from external circumstances. When you allow outside events to dictate your mood, you become a puppet to forces beyond your control. However, when you train your mind to stay undisturbed, you take charge of your destiny. The world holds esteem for those who maintain composure amidst chaos and do not crumble under pressure. By embodying this mindset, you exert authority without uttering a word, moving through life with power, presence, and unshakable confidence. Reflect on the most influential figures in history. They were not those who reacted impulsively to every slight or criticism. Instead, they carried a sense of control, as though they possessed knowledge that others lacked. Their strength lay not in their capacity to argue or retaliate, but rather in their ability to remain unaffected. This is the true power of indifference. Consider the tenets found in literature on self-mastery and success. The most significant lesson is that thought precedes action. What you think, you become. By constantly reacting emotionally to the world, you relinquish your power. However, by fostering an unwavering mindset, you can make the world yield to your will. Imagine a scenario where someone insults you publicly. The natural response for most is to react with anger, retaliation, or self-defense. But what would happen if you merely smiled and walked away? You would rob the instigator of their power. They expected a reaction, and when they do not receive it, they are left feeling unsettled, while you emerge stronger, untouched, and undefeated. This silent dominance is understood by few but admired by many. The same principle applies to failures and setbacks. When confronted with rejection or defeat, most individuals allow their emotions to take the wheel, drowning in frustration and losing days, weeks, or even years ruminating over what went wrong. In contrast, those who grasp the power of indifference view failure as mere data, information from which to learn, adjust, and grow. They do not internalize setbacks, rather they observe, adapt, and move forward. 2. Cultivating emotional control. How do you cultivate this level of control? It starts with daily training of your mind. Practice the habit of pausing before reacting to emotional triggers. Ask yourself whether this situation genuinely affects your long-term goals. Is your reaction truly necessary, or are you simply giving away your power? By consistently opting for non-reaction, you develop an armor that shields you from life's trivialities. Another crucial aspect is visualization. Envision yourself as someone who navigates life unbothered. Imagine a version of yourself that does not flinch at insults, nor crumbles under pressure. Reinforcing this image in your mind can eventually shape your reality. The mind is indeed powerful, and what you visualize repeatedly, you become. Let others wonder why you remain unshaken. Let them question how you maintain composure. When you show that nothing disturbs you, you control the game, becoming an enigma that others admire but cannot entirely understand. In that mystery lies your strength. True power is not defined by domination or aggression. Instead, it is rooted in presence, a presence so potent that it requires no validation, commanding respect through silence and an unshakable state of mind. Master this art, and you will master life. To remain unshaken, consider the individuals you respect most. They do not react emotionally. They pause and assess before responding with intention. This does not imply a lack of emotions, but rather that they have mastered their emotions. Emotional detachment is not about suppressing feelings. It is about controlling them. Picture a heated argument where the other person aims to provoke you. Will you react, allowing their words to manipulate your emotions? Or will you smile, unaffected, realizing that their words carry weight only if you grant them power? Emotional detachment is the refusal to surrender your peace to external influences. It is about recognizing that your inner world is sacred and inviolable. When you adopt this mindset, stress diminishes, clarity sharpens, and the challenges of life transform into mere puzzles to solve, rather than battles to fight. Reflect on the principle that thoughts shape reality. What you focus on, you attract. When you allow external events to govern your state of mind, you become enslaved to circumstances. Conversely, by controlling your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your own fate. 3. The power of letting go. Consider the example of an individual who lost everything. Their business collapsed, investments crumbled, leaving them with nothing. Most would sink into despair. However, this person viewed the failure as a lesson rather than a tragedy. They understood that the mind is their greatest asset, and no external loss could take that away. With this perspective, they rebuilt their life, stronger than before. This demonstrates the power of detachment. When you cease to identify with failures or setbacks, you liberate yourself to rise above them. A significant reason people fail to reach their goals is emotional turbulence. They allow fear, doubt, and frustration to dictate their actions, starting with ambition only to give up when challenges arise. Conversely, those who master detachment recognize emotions as fleeting sensations, refusing to let temporary feelings derail their long-term objectives. Training yourself to be emotionally detached does not render you cold or indifferent. Rather, it means that external forces no longer govern your internal state. You can experience joy, sadness, and excitement while retaining control, ensuring that your emotions serve you rather than the opposite. To develop this mindset, practice stepping back in emotionally charged situations. The next time someone insults you, pause before acting. Reflect on whether this situation impacts your life meaningfully. More often than not, the answer will be no. By choosing non-reaction, you strip them of their power over you. Detachment also stems from having a clear purpose. When your vision is strong, petty distractions lose their influence on you. Your focus becomes unbreakable, as you recognize that your energy is too precious to waste on trivial matters. The world belongs to those who master themselves. The more you cultivate emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. While others panic, you remain calm. While they react impulsively, you respond strategically. In doing so, you gain an advantage that few ever attain. True strength is not about physical dominance or loud displays of power. It is about maintaining an unshakable presence that commands respect simply by existing. 4. Mindful indifference as a superpower. We are conditioned to believe that we must care about everything: people's opinions, their validation, their judgments. Society teaches us that our worth is determined by how much we invest in the thoughts and expectations of others. However, true freedom emerges when you understand that most things simply do not matter. The next time you catch yourself overthinking, ask, "Will this matter in 5 years? If not, let it go." Much of what troubles us, criticism, temporary setbacks, fleeting embarrassments, will become insignificant with time. Yet, we allow these concerns to consume our thoughts, dictate our emotions, and guide our actions. Mastering indifference is key to reclaiming your power. Indifference does not equate to apathy. It signifies prioritization. It involves recognizing that your energy is finite and choosing to invest it in what genuinely warrants your focus. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion is worth considering. When you cease to react to every minor inconvenience, you regain control. You shift from being emotionally reactive to strategically responsive, and that shift changes everything. Think of the people you admire. They are not those desperately seeking approval or reacting emotionally to every challenge. They stand firm, unshaken by the din of the world. They know who they are, making them difficult to manipulate or influence. When you adopt this mindset, something incredible occurs. People start to respect you more, not because you seek their validation, but because they see you as a person who cannot be swayed. 5. Handling criticism. Criticism is an inevitable part of life, but your response to it defines your strength. Many people crumble at the slightest hint of disapproval, taking comments too personally and allowing them to shape their identities. But criticism is merely opinions, words, and perspectives, often emanating from individuals who do not fully understand your journey. The reality is that criticism only holds as much power as you allow it. When you react emotionally, you relinquish control. But when you filter it through logic, you remain in command. The strongest individuals do not let criticism unsettle them. They evaluate it with a clear mind, determining what is useful and discarding the rest without unnecessary emotion or overreaction. The crucial lesson is to filter criticism through logic, not emotion. Retain what serves you and ignore what does not, ensuring that someone's opinion never disturbs your peace. There are two forms of criticism: constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is beneficial. It encourages growth and comes from those with experience, knowledge, and a genuine desire to see you improve. This is the type of feedback you should welcome. Conversely, destructive criticism aims to tear you down, often arising from others' jealousy, insecurity, or misunderstanding. Such opinions are meaningless unless you misidentify with them. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. As he chisels away, some admire his work. Others offer useful suggestions, while a few mock his efforts. Does the sculptor abandon his vision because of negative feedback? No. He continues, guided by his inner vision while filtering out the noise. Adopt this mindset when confronted with criticism. Ask whether the person has the experience or credibility to judge you. If they do, take their words into account. If they do not, move on. Not all voices warrant your attention. Most criticism comes from those who have never dared to pursue what you are undertaking, and their words reflect their limitations rather than yours. Criticism serves as a test of emotional resilience. The weak-minded react impulsively, becoming defensive or retreating into self-doubt. Meanwhile, the strong remain unperturbed. They acknowledge criticism, process it, and refuse to let it disrupt their inner peace. When you respond to criticism with calm indifference, you demonstrate to the world that your confidence is unshakable. 6. Maintaining composure. Under pressure, pressure can reveal a person's true character. Some break, others fold, but the strong remain unwavering. They understand that pressure is not an anomaly. It is a certainty. Preparing mentally for impending challenges takes the surprise out of them. The secret lies in detaching from the need for control. Accept this. Not everything will unfold according to plan. People will let you down, obstacles will arise, and unexpected setbacks will occur. Still, you should not react emotionally. Instead, respond with strategy and composed calculation. Many individuals crack under pressure because they resist reality, expecting everything to proceed smoothly and predictably. When life proves otherwise, they panic and complain. However, those who train themselves to embrace uncertainty adapt. They move with chaos rather than against it. Consider a seasoned warrior entering battle. He does not anticipate an easy fight. He anticipates resistance, ambushes, and unforeseen threats while maintaining his composure. This is how you must approach life. The world will test you, tossing stress, failure, and doubt in your direction. Yet, if you have conditioned yourself to remain composed under pressure, nothing will rattle you. While others scramble and panic, you will navigate with precision. In mastering control, not over external events, but over yourself, you become unstoppable. Recognizing that pressure is inevitable transforms your perspective. You no longer fear it, but instead view it as an opportunity to refine your composure. Think of great leaders and the most unshakable individuals. They do not flinch in chaos nor crumble when things fall apart. Rather, they radiate calmness and certainty. This quality sets them apart, drawing admiration and respect from others who wonder how they remain so composed while everyone else falls apart. They have trained themselves to expect challenge and rehearse their responses long before the need arises, detaching from unnecessary emotionality to prioritize logic over panic. Start developing this level of control by altering your view of pressure. See it as a test of your discipline. When faced with stress, challenge yourself to remain composed. Observe your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. The more you practice this, the more natural it will become. Preparation is an essential part of this process. The strongest individuals do not wait for pressure to arrive. They train themselves for it. Mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios and condition your mind to stay steady under stress. When you do this, nothing will catch you off guard. You become a strategist rather than a mere reactor. Most people navigate life unprepared, relying on hope instead of discipline. They expect favorable outcomes, and when reality diverges, they collapse. However, those who condition their minds for adversity refuse to break or fold. They remain resolute and unaffected. As the pressure increases, remind yourself that this is your moment to demonstrate control. While others panic, you will breathe. While they react, you will calculate. And when the storm passes, you will still be standing, untouched, unshaken, and unbreakable. 7. Letting go of what you cannot control. Suffering often emanates from attachments to outcomes, expectations, and elements outside our control. We cling tightly to what we believe should happen and how we expect life to unfold. When reality diverges from our desires, we experience pain. True mental strength lies in the ability to let go. Visualize a river that flows harmoniously around obstacles. It does not resist or fight against rocks obstructing its path. Instead, it adapts. This is how you should approach life. Some events will occur regardless of how tenaciously you stress over them. The job offer that never materialized, the person who walked away, the unexpected setback. You are faced with a choice: resist and suffer, or adapt and move forward. Letting go does not signify giving up, but rather shifting your attention to what is within your control. When you cling to expectations, you become fragile, ensnared in a cycle of frustration, replaying past events and questioning how things could have been different. However, upon embracing the understanding that some things are beyond your influence, you liberate yourself from unnecessary suffering. The strongest individuals are not those who resist the inevitable. They are the ones who remain serene amidst uncertainty. They have mastered detachment, not from life itself, but from the illusion of control. They understand that life is unpredictable, and peace is derived from flowing with it, not against it. Many individuals exhaust their energy attempting to force outcomes, tethering their happiness to specific results. If things proceed as planned, they experience satisfaction. If not, they fall apart. This mentality represents a weak approach to existence. True strength manifests in adaptability. When you free yourself from rigid expectations, you cultivate resilience that renders you unstoppable. No event, disappointment, or setback can undermine you. The key to letting go lies in awareness. The next time you find yourself clinging to something too tightly, an outcome, a person, an expectation, pause and ask yourself whether it is within your control. If not, let it go. Do not squander your energy on what you cannot alter. Instead, redirect it toward pursuits that propel you forward. Detachment is a skill requiring practice. Start small. Release minor frustrations like waiting in line, slow traffic, or unexpected changes in plans. Observe how liberating it feels to refrain from letting external circumstances dictate your mood. Over time, apply this mindset to larger challenges. Some may confuse detachment with indifference, but the two are distinct. Indifference is apathy, a refusal to engage in life. Detachment, however, is rooted in the realization that while you can fully participate in life, you do not have to be ruled by its uncertainties. You may deeply care about your goals, relationships, and experiences, but you need not suffer when things deviate from your expectations. The moment you choose to release control over what you cannot manage, you become invincible. You traverse life with a sense of tranquility that others admire but cannot fathom. While they are consumed by frustration and disappointment, you remain steady and unshaken. They wonder how you achieve this state of poise. The truth is that you have mastered the art of letting go. Stop resisting, accept what is, adapt to what comes, and above all, remember that the strongest minds do not cling. They flow just like the river, moving forward untouched by the obstacles ahead. 8. Silence as the ultimate power move. In a world overflowing with noise, silence stands as a potent weapon. Many people speak to fill space, seek validation, or prove something. But the most powerful individuals understand that unnecessary talk detracts from impact. They listen, observe, and strategize, ensuring that when they finally speak, every word carries significance. Silence often makes people uncomfortable, prompting them to reevaluate their thoughts and wonder what you might be thinking. In a conversation, the silent individual holds control. Words reveal, but silence conceals. When you master the art of silence, you shift the power dynamics in your favor, gaining command over conversations, situations, and how people perceive you. Many individuals feel uneasy with silence, rushing to fill voids with justifications and unnecessary words. However, by withholding your responses, you compel others to disclose more about themselves. The more they talk, the more they expose their insecurities, thoughts, and intentions while you remain a mysterious figure. Imagine being in a negotiation where the other party expects an immediate response to their offer. Instead of reacting, you pause and let silence linger. The longer you wait, the more unsettled they become, often leading them to offer better terms, compromises, or even succumb to desperation. Silence creates tension, and tension begets leverage. You can apply this principle in everyday interactions as well. The next time someone insults you, remain silent. Many anticipate a reaction of anger, defense, or retaliation. By not responding, you strip them of their power. They begin to question whether their words had any effect, feeling foolish in the process. Your silence forces them to confront their emotions rather than feeding off yours. Additionally, silence serves as a tool for observation. When you talk less, you notice more. The hesitation in another's voice, shifts in their posture, contradictions in their words. Most people miss these cues while they are preoccupied with speaking. However, when you master silence, you become a strategist, gathering valuable information while revealing nothing in return. The world's most influential figures are rarely the loudest voices in the room. They choose their words with precision, understanding that speaking less does not mean knowing less. In fact, it signifies knowing more. If you wish to harness the power of silence, begin by practicing restraint. In conversations, pause before responding and observe the environment, allowing others to reveal themselves first. The less you say, the more others will lean in when you do choose to speak. Another method to wield silence is during moments of strong emotion. When you feel anger, remain silent. If someone insults you, respond without words. When faced with demands for immediate answers, allow silence to work in your favor. The ability to manage your speech in intense situations illustrates the highest form of discipline, and discipline commands respect. Powerful individuals are not reactive. They do not allow emotions to dictate their words. They recognize that silence can serve as a response in itself. A pause can communicate more than an entire sentence, and a moment of quiet can alter the trajectory of a conversation. The next time someone expects you to react, do not speak. Let them wonder. Let them reveal themselves, and observe how the power shifts in your favor. In a world where everyone desperately seeks to be heard, the individual who speaks the least often holds the most influence. 9. Training yourself to stay calm, regardless of circumstances. Your mind is a battlefield, and the thoughts you allow to take root will determine your success or failure. Fears, doubts, and hesitations represent adversaries that must be vanquished. The strongest individuals are not necessarily those who never experience negative thoughts. Rather, They are those who refuse to let those thoughts control them. To cultivate an unshakable mind, you must establish mental habits, gratitude to counter negativity, discipline to overcome laziness, and detachment to alleviate suffering. Just as the body strengthens through resistance, the mind gains resilience through daily training. You cannot expect mental toughness to materialize in moments of crisis if you have not prepared for it. Each day, condition yourself to remain unfazed. Pause before reacting and breathe before responding. Many become slaves to their emotions, reacting impulsively and succumbing to frustration. In contrast, those who master their minds control everything. This is the mindset of warriors and leaders. They do not allow distractions, setbacks, or insults to rattle them. They traverse life with purpose, exuding a calmness that others struggle to comprehend. Consequently, they become unbreakable. Understand that mental strength is forged in small, everyday moments. Waking early when you would prefer to sleep, choosing silence when you could argue, and persevering when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Just as a muscle strengthens through resistance, your mind develops through challenges. Each challenge presents an opportunity to fortify your mental resilience. One of the most effective mental habits to practice is detachment. When you learn to separate yourself from emotions, outcomes, and external chaos, you gain a significant advantage over those who continuously react. Detachment does not imply indifference. It represents control, acknowledging that while you cannot dictate the world, you can always choose your response. Envision a storm. Most people are tossed around, battling against uncontrollable forces, but those with unshakable minds remain steady, allowing the storm to swirl around them. They conserve their energy for what truly matters rather than futilely resisting the uncontrollable. Discipline is another vital component of mental training. Your mind will continually seek comfort, ease, and the path of least resistance. This is why many never attain true strength. They succumb to distractions, procrastination, and self-doubt. However, discipline rewires the mind. By consistently choosing discipline over ease, you reshape yourself into an unstoppable force. Begin with small commitments to reinforce your mental fortitude. Meditate to hone your focus, exercise to bolster discipline, read to expand your knowledge, and keep your promises to yourself, no matter how small. Over time, these minor acts will coalesce into something powerful, an unshakable mind. The world will challenge you, and life will present obstacles. But once you have mastered your mind, external circumstances will no longer shake you. You will navigate life with an unparalleled level of confidence, control, and authority that few ever attain. When others inquire how you maintain such calmness, such composure amidst chaos, you will know the answer. You have trained for this, you have built it, and nothing can take it from you. 10. Mastering the art of moving in silence. Real power operates in silence. It seeks no attention nor validation. It simply acts and allows the results to speak for themselves. The loudest individuals in the room are often the weakest, craving recognition and announcing their intentions, while the strongest move quietly and strategically, exercising precision in their actions. If you wish to be respected, refrain from announcing your plans. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Simply do the work, make progress, and let your results speak volumes. Success is forged through actions, not words. The more you speak, the more you invite scrutiny, doubt, and resistance. When you work in silence, no one sees you coming. By the time they notice, it is often too late. The strongest individuals do not expend their energy on proving themselves. Instead, they let their accomplishments demonstrate their capability. They do not argue, impress, or over-explain. They act with certainty, and that certainty commands respect. Once you cease seeking validation, you become unstoppable. There is a reason the most influential figures in history were not the ones constantly berating others with their ambitions. They understood the truth. Power lies not in promises, but in execution. They did not burden themselves with explaining their vision to those unlikely to understand. They simply built, created, and dominated in silence. To master this skill, develop your discipline to keep your ambitions private. Work relentlessly, but do not seek applause. Let people wonder about your next move. Allow them to question how you remain so composed and unperturbed. The less they know, the more control you possess. Silence is not passivity. It is a strategic approach that compels others to fill in the blanks, fueling their speculation. And uncertainty ultimately grants you power. When you do choose to speak, your words resonate. People listen not because you demand attention, but because they recognize that you value your words and do not squander them. In a world where everyone clamors to be noticed, be the one who does not seek recognition. While others pursue attention, you chase mastery. While they focus on appearing successful, you concentrate on genuinely becoming successful. This distinction separates those who merely talk about great things from those who actively engage in achieving them. If you feel compelled to outline your plans, resist that urge. If you feel the need to prove your worth, hold back. Allow your results to demonstrate your achievements. Once you cease seeking external validation, you will notice something remarkable. People will begin to pay attention. They will wonder how you accomplish your goals, how nothing seems to trouble you, and this realization will mark your true mastery of the game, not through verbal declaration, but through your silent actions.